Are you disconnecting from that item and understanding that that's what it is? That's what it is. It's just an item. It is not you. It is not who you are at your core. It is just an item. So now your attitude towards that item changes as you start clearing more of the stuff out. Welcome to Declutter for Change podcast. I'm your host, Heather Clark, your declutter expert. Today's episode is all about attitudes. It is the third episode and the third letter in Change, which is the basis of my entire business, the podcast, how basically why decluttering, why organizing your life, why clearing out the space, clearing out your mind, clearing out your emotions is all about. Your attitude when it comes to decluttering and how decluttering helps with that is it helps you clear your mind. Decluttering gets the emotion stuff out, gets the mental crap out. It literally will put you in a place where you can, yes, be approached by the same problem or same setback. Let's call it setback, not a problem, because everything's figure-outable, as Marie Forleo says. So a setback. You're presented with the same setback a year ago. You're freaking out. You're dealing with whatever it is, mentally, emotionally, physically, okay? Then, within that year, from then till now, you are clearing out your space, clearing out your mind. You're realizing that you overreact to certain things, that you get angry with certain things and you don't know why, and then you finally figure it out. Oh, you still have resentment towards this person, or you still have resentment towards this problem, etc., etc. Then you're now talking a year later. So today, let's say, you have the exact same setback, but you are able to look at it, to see it, and to realize and to feel it in a different way. Maybe you react, your first initial thing is you want to freak out. But then all of a sudden, because you've cleared out a lot of your emotional and mental stuff in the past year or so, you can look at that setback and go, okay, hang on, let me step back from this. Let me look at this from a logical standpoint. Let me take emotions, let me take mental part of it, and how can I fix this? How can I remedy this? How can I move forward in this situation that best serves me and everyone around me? Because I can tell you, freaking out, it's not going to serve anybody. I know. I've been there. I've done that. It doesn't help. That's how your attitude is changed when you declutter. Is it going to be overnight? Nope. Is it going to be within the next week or so? Maybe. Maybe something that you all of a sudden go, oh my God, that happened. And I just reacted totally different because I was able to let go of the guilt from it. I was able to let go of the shame from that. I was able to let go of my emotions to that particular subject or maybe even particular person because of the fact that you were able to clear it out of your own space, your own mental space, emotional space, maybe even your physical space. Maybe it became a picture of the person. Maybe it became a picture or a memory of that event that you needed to let go, and you finally did, and with it went all the energy with that. And when you let go of that energy of the hate, the guilt, the shame, all that stuff, it changes you. And it totally changes the way you look at things moving forward. It absolutely changes the way that you feel about things, and it changes your life. The attitude towards everything, literally everything, changes when you start clearing out the space, physically, mentally, emotionally. And it very much is liberating. There are certain things that I used to, wow, have I overreacted on years ago. And now, same situations, I'm like, no, I'm going to just put this aside for now. I'm not going to respond in a emotional state. I'm going to just put it aside. Maybe I need 5 minutes, maybe I need an hour, maybe I need 24 hours. It depends on what it was. But I can step back now, recognize that how my body reacts. That's when you know that something is still emotional or mental to you, is how you react internally. Seeing an item, how does that make you react? Do you get all weepy? Do memories of that person come rushing back? Or can you look at the item and go, meh, It's just an item now. Are you disconnecting from that item and understanding that that's what it is? That's what it is. It's just an item. It is not you. It is not who you are at your core. It is just an item. So now your attitude towards that item changes as you start clearing more of the stuff out. Your attitude towards people start changing too. Maybe you start realizing that the people you're hanging around aren't the people that you want to anymore. You've upgraded. You've upgraded your mental state. You've upgraded your energy. You've upgraded your way of living. So now, and it's not bad that the people around you haven't. They're on their journey. You can keep them around, but understand that your reaction and your attitude towards them and towards the situations that you put yourself into when you're hanging around them, that is up to you how to react. You can be part of the conversation with them. Great. That's no problem. We're all on our own journey. We're all in different parts of our life. But just knowing that if you're around people who drain you, who constantly tell you you can't do whatever you want to do, who constantly try and put you down, that's not about you. That's about them. But what is about you is your attitude towards that. Are you going to engage into that conversation in the way that they want you to, in a negative way? Or because you've cleared out your space, because you've cleared out the physical stuff, because you've cleared out the mental and emotional stuff, or are on your journey of doing so, are you able to go and look at them and go, no, I'm not engaging in this. I'll still talk to you, but our conversations need to be on a more positive. I can't talk to you about the news because I don't watch it anymore. That's my thing. When people tell me about the news, listen, I even just called the kids the other day and they were watching the news and my son's trying to tell me something. I said, dude, I don't watch the news. I really don't. I said, there's a reason I don't, because they just show you what is the worst of the worst of the worst, just to keep you in that fear space. But your attitude towards that conversation or towards those people that are constantly negative, your attitude towards that changes if you're clearing out the space, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So you can actually step back, reevaluate, okay, do I actually want to even be friends with these people anymore? And if the answer is yes, because they bring you some joy, have that hard conversation with them and say, hey, you know what? I'm really trying to be better with more positive in my life. Having conversations about this person or that person or past experiences or the news or what's going on, that doesn't bring me any joy anymore, and I really don't want to be talking about that. Have that conversation and see how that person reacts, because if they're like, oh crap, yeah, you know what? I do talk about that a lot. Maybe I need to work on this. Maybe you've just changed their life just by having that conversation. And if it's the other way around, where you don't change it and they're like, okay, whatever, then that's up to you now at this point. Because you can only control the way you react to something. You can't control the way they react. You can control you, and that is it. Even as parents, you can't even control your kids. Let me just say that. Not that I'm trying to control my children. Kids are kids. People are people. Adults are adults. We can only control what we do, say, think. When you start clearing out the crap that you don't want and clearing out the stuff that you don't need and clearing out the stuff that is not serving you at all, whether it's the emotions, whether it's the physical stuff, or whether it's the thoughts you tell yourself, you speak to yourself, how you say things to yourself, your attitude starts to change. Heck, your attitude towards yourself on just your thoughts that you say to yourself. Have you been aware of what you say to yourself? Man, last summer, oh my goodness, I was part of a challenge. And one of the challenges, so I actually started last summer running. Let me just tell you, over the Canadian winters, I stopped running. But while I was running, it was me. It was me and the pavement. That's it. I sometimes had podcasts, but then there was many times where I just didn't have anything, and I was just me and the pavement, and that's it. The thoughts that I had going in my mind were crazy. I thought I cleared them too. But man, it's amazing how when you clear something out, something else surfaces. And then you go and clear that. And then something else surfaces. And then you clear that. And something else surfaces. And you get my point. Even though you think you've cleared something, the thing will still come up. But it's how you react. So when the thoughts last year as I was running, where, oh, you can't do this. What do you think? You can run a 5K? You can't do that. I was like, well, Yeah, I can. It's 5K. Maybe I can't run the whole thing on day one, but I'm just starting. This is just the beginning of my journey. I'm not going to try and expect myself to run 5 kilometers right from the get-go, especially since last time I ran before that was maybe high school on my cross-country years. You have to give yourself some grace too, so that if these thoughts do come up and if these emotions do come back and your house or your space gets cluttered again, have grace. Have grace, because guess what? Life happens. Life is a constant thing of change. You are constantly changing. Yesterday, you are not the same person as you are today. Today, you are not going to be the same person as you are tomorrow. All of that clutter and all that change, it's constantly changing. That's why I changed my name to Declutter for Change, because change is happening. And it is happening at the most rapid pace right now. Whether you are spiritual or not, I guarantee you change is here and it's not going away. Change has been here this entire time, but it is getting more rapid. It is getting more aggressive. And I mean aggressive, like I don't mean in a bad way. I mean, it is coming to the point of we need to change, and we need to change for the better. We need to make change to make things happier. We need to make ourselves happier, to allow people around us to be happier. We're not supposed to be here to be grumpy, to be full of crap. We're not supposed to be on this earth so that we can fill our homes with a bunch of crap and fill our storage units with a bunch of crap that we'll never look at, we never see, but it keeps that energy stagnant. It keeps that energy of the past in our lives. We're meant to move. We are meant to move forward. We are meant to change ourselves, to change our family, to change the world. Maybe you don't want to change the world. Maybe you just want to start with your family and that's it. And that will make you happy. Great. Fantastic. But it starts with you and your attitude towards things. It starts with you and your attitude towards yourself. Know that you're here for a reason. Maybe it's just so that you can provide happiness towards your family. Maybe it's so that you can change and bring a radical change towards the earth. Maybe it's so that you can change your town. Whatever the change that you want to provide, it's up to you. But it needs to make you happy. It needs to make you light up inside. It needs to create the happiness in you. That's basically it. Like, we are not here to be grumpy people. We are not here to be against each other. Now, mind you, I will say that I listened to a podcast yesterday, and what he said was that fear brings upon the change. And I will agree with that. The fear of losing something changes you. The fear of things that are happening in the news that, obviously I'm not, just because I don't listen to the news doesn't mean that I don't know what's going on. Yes, I know majority of the big things going on. But that fear that's causing in a lot of people is actually causing also radical change that is going to help us move forward in the biggest, best way possible. As much as we fear certain things and we fear that change, it needs to happen to get us into that space of happiness, of pure joy, of pure, you're lit up every time you want to do something, whatever your purpose is. And yes, is it going to happen every day? No, it's not going to happen every day. There are days where, like I said, I did a live on my Facebook that even I lose my shit. Literally, I lost my blood donor clinic card, but I also lose my stuff where I yell still because I still have the emotional outbursts, but I'm working on it. And that's what it constantly is. Change is constant. Change is always going to happen. But as long as you become aware of that and your attitude towards that can change as well, then life is going to be so much easier. Life is going to be so much happier. And you'll be able to move forward in where you really want to go, as opposed to just follow the rest of the crowd. I hope that helps you with a little bit of why decluttering actually helps with your attitude towards things, and how decluttering helps you on a whole basis towards how you think about things, how you think about yourself, how you think about the items. And next episode is all about your non-negotiables. And understanding that clearing out your space mentally, emotionally, and physically, you start to realize what your non-negotiables are in life. All the show notes for this episode will be found on declutterforchange.com/attitude. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Declutter for Change. Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you next time.